Hi, my name is Lenka Koloma. I'm a holistic health practitioner and international best-selling author. And today I have a very important message to you concerning COVID-19 pandemic. So before we go into asking about all the statistics about how many people died, how many people have been diagnosed, and how many people have recovered, very important question we have to ask is how were these people tested and how was COVID-19 actually diagnosed? It seems that the whole world got very busy with this hysteria while we are missing this very fundamental information that will show us something very, very critical that went missing through the whole translation. So I will be using a whiteboard for better visualization. So let's imagine we have a person, this beautiful person that's living in her or his environment. And because we are living in an environment, we are constantly subjected with stressors that are coming at our body, at our organic system from many different sources, many different shapes. So the first type of stressors are toxins. Environmental toxins. We live in modern society where we have today some 80,000 chemicals, anything from fluoride in our water, herbicides, pesticides, all these chemicals in our food, in our drinks, in our clothing, in our furniture, in our carpeting, in our car. So we are surrounded by chemicals on daily basis. We have also medications. So people take a lot of meds. That's also toxins because these are synthetic substances taken into the body. So it does something to the organic human system. We also have non-physical stressors, which are the psychological stressors like the real stress, like fear, that many people are experiencing today just because this whole hysteria and this scare that we have this vicious, very infectious virus on the loose. Then we also have injury. So injury happens to our body and existing disease that's already happening in our body if you are not in the optimal health and wellness condition. We also have ionized radiation that our body has to deal with. And lastly, we have technology, such as new technology called 5G. So all these stressors are subjecting our body, and our body has to deal with it. So when our cells get basically poisoned with these toxins, what the cells do, they release them. So they send the toxins out of the cells. And it looks like this, you know, the toxins look like this. And the body is super smart, very intelligent. So what it does, it encapsulates it. And we call these things exosomes. Exosome. Now, if you would go and you would dig deep into scientific literature, because this is very gray area in the medical establishment. Most doctors do not study this. This has been really never very deeply studied and looked into research. But if you study this and you look deep, you will find out that exosome is actually what we call virus. They are the same size, they contain RNA sequences. So exosome and virus is exactly the same thing. Also, if you would look, COVID-19, which is the virus we are dealing with right now, is exactly the same size as exosome description. Now, how do we test for this COVID-19? So when COVID-19 break through in the ground zero at Wuhan in China, what was very interesting, it was 198 people that got sick. They were rushed into a hospital, but only 7 people were taken fluid samples from, and they quickly used a protocol called RT-PCR. RT-PCR stands for reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction. This protocol was invented by a scientist, Carey Mullis, in 1984, and he received a Nobel Prize. And what it really does is it amplifies, it takes the RNA sequence and it amplifies it to basically look for the genetic material. It's like looking for the needle in the haystack. So what it does, it's amplifying the sequencing of the RNA within the exosome. The cycle can go anything from 25 to 35. If you go any higher, what's happening is now you are also amplifying all the noise surrounding the exosome. Using the COVID-19 testing, it's actually using in the upper range of 40 cycles. So all the tests, there are many different tests. You will hear many different names of these tests, like the rapid test, are based on the RT-PCR. And so what they are actually measuring for is exosomes, which is a naturally appearing, naturally happening thing in our body on daily basis. And especially if you have any underlying condition, if you already have flu or cold-like symptoms, if you are dealing with cancer, if you are having heart disease, if you are dealing with fibromyalgia, if you have asthma or any other issues, your body is definitely releasing toxins into the circulation, which we call exosomes, which is called virus. So it's happening naturally in your body. Very interesting is when we are looking into COVID-19 history, we now understand that COVID-19 is not naturally appearing virus in the nature. So this was mutated. We know that from the papers in University of Northern Carolina, that paper was established in 2015, that this virus was designed, is a human made, and the only way you can catch COVID-19 is when it's injected in you, because this is not naturally appearing virus in the nature. So everything that you are being tested for are these exosomes that are naturally happening in your body. Even if you are healthy, this is basically a natural cleansing mechanism of any human system. So what we are dealing with is a great fake science. Also very important to mention is that COVID-19 was never isolated, was never purified, and controlled group tested to develop a golden standard against which we could be testing all these other patients. So what we are dealing with is with quite big medical fraud we've ever experienced. I would like to let everyone know that to have absolutely no fear, because no one is dying of COVID-19. Everything that's been diagnosed has been diagnosed based on exosomes, which are naturally happening process in every human body. And this is something we have to understand, that if anyone is talking about any statistics, we need to be looking how are these people actually diagnosed and what's happening really. with this whole pandemic.